Hey, grateful morning, everyone, or afternoon. This is Dr. TK, and I am broadcasting live for the Therapists Deserve Abundance podcast this Monday morning. First off, I want to let you know how grateful I am. If you are a new viewer or listener to the podcast, I so much appreciate you. And I'm just really excited to talk about this topic. And I'm going to give, of course, some background as to why this topic is so important. But go ahead and head over to the chat box, say good morning, good afternoon, and also start to put in any question or questions that you have related to hustle season, economical shifts as it relates specifically to private practice. And I'm going to sip some tea. Okay. So, truth be told, I woke up yesterday and I was like, we need to have like a DTA call meeting. And for those of you who don't know what DTA is, it's our signature private practice program called Dope Therapist Academy. Longer, I guess, creation of the program is how to manifest a profitable private practice. So what I'm going to be talking about today is something that really pricked my soul. It pricked my heart. Related to economical shifts that are happening in the private practice world. And from what I've seen, some, not all mental health providers are looking at it from a standpoint of I need to make a pivot. So whether you're in my program or not, if you're in our program, just serve this as like a bonus coaching call. If you're not a part of our community and you want or have a private practice, I really need you to tune in and pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to bring some things up here on the screen just to like keep me focused, because I can talk about this topic for days because it's been bothering me for days as I hear and see certain things that are happening or not happening in mental health therapists' business. Okay, so first thing I want to bring up is what's called economy shifts, caseload impact. Okay, so I do like y'all to talk back to me. Put a 1 in the comment box if you've seen a change or shift in your caseload, meaning maybe you have a desire to get a certain amount of clients. Let's just say 15. Let's just say you hit the 15, or you're part-time and you hit the 5 or the 7. You get that amount of clients that you desire, but they can't stay consistent, whether they're cash pay or insurance. We'll get to that in a moment because I am going to address that as well. But put a 1 in the comment box if from maybe the mid 2021 to now, you've seen a fluctuation that you in your gut tells you something is not right. Okay. So just to do a quick recap for those of you who are familiar clearly with the trends in the last 3 years, I probably should have drew a diagram. When we look at 2020, there was a spike. Then around the end of 2020, a lot of states really just started to open back up. So then there was like a slow trickle down, but still people were aware mental health is a real thing, right? And then in 2021, new year, new me, 2020 ain't here no more. Let me try to live as normal of a new norm as I can, right? So some therapists around June of 2021 and especially June of 2022 saw a significant dip in your clientele. So that I think is pretty across the board. But what made people stand out is if you knew how to market, if you knew who your targeted audience was, if you were able to spend time working on your business, and more importantly, the topic of today is learning how to pivot your mindset, because I want to have a serious conversation with you about what some people, even myself, may not put it all the way out there, but I'm talking about it today, is let's talk about what people don't tell you about in rough seasons. You know, granted, I will talk a lot about abundance, prosperity, making a whole lot of money, and doing well and making a good impact in your community. But at the end of the day, if you don't understand that there will be seasons in your company, you are going to run into a problem that will either lead you back to a job you don't want to be at, stay at a job, longer than, that you want to be there. And or if you want to do a mix of, ain't nothing wrong with having a job and a private practice, right? If that's your flow because you like your job, ain't nothing wrong with it. You may have to shut down your business. Okay. So let's talk about cash flow. All right. Cash flow is something that we just started introducing fully to our community this year. It's not like we ain't talked about money, but we've introduced the term cash flow this year because this is a term that a lot of people don't sit down to understand, right? So when you have a private practice, you have to, I'm not going to say the word you should in this podcast, okay? You have to understand if you are looking at a monthly calendar, y'all need to write this down. If you are looking at a monthly calendar, day 1 through 28, 29, 30, or 31, how many days of the month do you get paid, right? Because some of y'all will say basic math. Oh, I work in my private practice 4 weeks out of the month. Therefore, I can estimate because I got 15 clients that I make this amount. No, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that, right? So pull out a calendar right now. I'm going to pull up my phone, okay, in my hand. Some of y'all may be watching me on your phone, so don't go away from this, right? So if we looked at the month of March, actually put a 2 in the comment box if y'all down to do this assignment. Put a 2 in the comment box, whether you're watching it live or later, or if you're listening to it on the podcast, go into the DM and say, yo, I'm gonna do this activity, okay? I want you to go and look at the month of January. If you want your business to be taken seriously in the second quarter or more serious than it was taken in the first quarter, put a 2 in the comment box if you're down to do this, especially DTA. All right. So I want you to go look at January, February, and March. My team is watching, so I want them to send me a Slack message for accountability, and I'm going to do it with y'all. I'm going to do it with y'all for my coaching business. I want you to print out a blank calendar. I'll probably upload one somewhere randomly, right? If you ain't got one. Upload a blank calendar, and I want you to look into your Stripe account, your bank account, but don't double count. And I want you for your main stream of income. So for private practice, clearly for today's topic, it will be your private practice. For me, it will be coaching. If you don't do private practice, it needs to be whatever your main stream of income is. But this topic is for private practice, right? I want you to write down in the box of January 1st, how much money did my business make? January 2nd, how much money did my business make? I do not want you to write at the end of the month, this is how much my business made. Okay, so let me check the chat box just to make sure y'all accountable. Okay, because this is an accountability call. Okay, so y'all down to do that. Now, this is where the aha moments are going to come in. You're going to realize what is the cash flow problem. You're going to realize, I'll give you a story, and some of you may have heard this before. So in 2020, in November, we started having therapist coaching live events out of state, like in Vegas. I was having them like in my office in Southern California at first for like CE workshops. And then I decided to go all in and get, go small, and just get bigger and bigger. So where I went from like 4 therapists to 6 therapists to 12 therapists to 20 therapists to 50, 60 therapists, right? I think my max was like 60 something. So I had the event in November, and I just so happened to have it on Veterans Day weekend. Everything was gravy. Everything was fine. Happy event. Everything worked out perfect. However, luckily, I know how to bring different credit cards when I go out of town, right? And I also love cell phones because you can make an easy transfer, but you shouldn't be dipping in the money you shouldn't touch. So always have leveraged cash, like money that you can use it if you need an emergency, right? So we went to go check in to the Aria. That's usually where we have our intimate VIP experiences and or elite coaching mastermind meetings, right? Because we have a conference room and it's in like a suite. So I went to go check in. I was getting, I believe, somebody else a room like on my team. And you know how they have incidentals, right? So you know that if they tell you, and you can look on a website for what the hold amount is, but they'll say on the website, depending on what type of room you get, it may have a different hold rate. And just follow me. Y'all probably like, what does that do with private practice? You will see in a moment. So when I went to go check into my room, my balance was like $3,500 because it's a suite and it's not a joke. It's like $1,000 a night, if not more, unless you catch it like super early, right? So I had the money to pay the balance, plus like a couple of $100 like extra on cushion on one designated events card. Follow? Then they said, because they don't ever tell you, they say, oh, put your card in the slot. I said, well, something told me to say, what's the hold? Because it's going to hold the money in my bank account. And I got to use that money for taking them out to dinner or just doing other things, right? So they were like, something like $1,000. And I was like, $1,000 extra? So speed things up. What I learned in that moment is that when I went to the room, because I transferred the money, that wasn't a problem, right? But when I went to my room, something told me, you need to sit down and do another money date with yourself. Because when I transferred the money, I wasn't supposed to transfer that money, but it was there for an emergency. So when I got home, it was after the event, right? I sat down and something told me to list out every single day I get paid. I realized, and that's where we set things up the second year, because that's when it really hit home. During the second year we start having events, is I start recognizing that I ran into this problem in May of 2021. And I was like, oh, hell no, this problem coming up again. So what I realized was there was a trend. And the trend was I always had my events, for whatever reason, on the third week of the month. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why I always had to transfer money, but I had hella money throughout the other part of the month. When I looked at my paper, I said, holy crap. Put a 1 in the comment box if this gonna hit. 90 to 95% of my cash that hit my coaching business was in the first 10 days of the month. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when we say you got more month than money. So put a 1 in the comment box if you've recognized whether you have a money date or not. You be trying to figure out every month, damn, why around the 22nd do it feel like I'm broke, right? Let's be all the way real in our personal lives. Like, I could have swore I looked at my account and I had like $6,000. But could it be that all of your bills are due in the last end of the month? But maybe all your money comes in the first month. You're not paying attention that the third week of the month doesn't have any money, right? Let's just say you take insurance. And it just so happens that you see clients, I'm just giving you all examples, you see clients every other week. It just so happens that the way your calendar works, and when you submit your claims or when you decide to sit down and do the credit card swipe, if it's not automatic, it just so happened that when you pay attention to January, February, and March, the 24th of the month, you make $150. And you can't for the life of you figure out why. Understand your cash flow. Okay. So what I learned from that experience is that I can pivot. I can either and I did one time in 2022, I'm like, a launch will be on this week of the month. Y'all just got to learn how to work the calendar. I say it because when a launch happens, people are going to get a payment plan. And their payment plan will be due during this week of each month. So what happens now is literally if I log on to my system, Stripe, PayPal, or our actual system that collects all of our payments, I can literally see that about 99, I think it's one day, come on, check today, one day out of the month that I might not get paid. Some of y'all need to know that. I see people in the chat box, y'all in DTA, y'all in ECM, some of y'all coming to the conference, some of y'all just on GP, came to the Streams of Income Bootcamp, you just on my Instagram, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. This is a free workshop that you need to like just take for coaching, right? Cash flow is a problem. So put a 1 in the comment box if you need to. I don't care if you have a money date. Put a 1 in the comment box if you know you need to get a grasp on your money because inflation is here. It ain't going nowhere for a little cool minute. Housing is up. Rent and leases, including for an office, is up. Homelessness at an all-time high. People having to go back to a job that they don't like at an all-time processing thought high. Y'all playing. You're playing. Okay? So let's keep going. All right, thank you for like being with me. All right, so Kate, so I'm just leading y'all up to where I'm gonna tell y'all where to hustle, like hustle, right? So the question that I want to pose to you is hustle now? Question mark. In order for you to one reframe the way you look at hustle, see, I don't look at hustle as oh, I ain't gonna get no sleep. I gotta wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've learned how to reframe hustle. Now I'm not saying that I may not have to wake up early. Some nights I may have to go to bed late. I was on my laptop on a Sunday on my couch doing certain things for our coaching program that I promised myself going into this year I wouldn't do on certain times and days of the week. But guess what? What let me point to the right side. What that say? She went off to change the world, right? So when it comes down, I'm about to infuse some hustle, and I just want y'all to talk back to me to let me know if I'm talking back to you, because my students know how I get. Like it feel like I'm in the pulpit. You feel me? But my stomach is hurting, which means that I'm hitting a breaking point because I feel like I'm about to cry, right? So I'm about to share some real things with you all. I just shared it with my team. So this is no exaggeration. Whether, and some of DTA students can attest to this, whether it's been on our coaching calls in the Private Practice Academy, whether it's been in our mastermind for scalability, whether it's been at a VIP VHP experience from last year, whether it's been at the conference, in a boot camp, in our Facebook groups, my text message, my DM, and my email. Therapists are out here hurting. And the only way that I was able, and I'm getting emotional, I'm saying just to y'all, is like if I have to like pause myself because I start crying, like I feel it coming because I think I've been holding on to it for a long time because I see these messages and it hurts my soul. This was not planned, this podcast. But when I got another text, like a DM yesterday, I said, well, enough is enough. So therapists are telling us, y'all having a hard time getting clients. Therapists are telling us, I'm marketing to my ideal clients. I want cash pay clients. I don't want to get on insurance panels. Listen, first of all, if you don't have no other stream of income, you need to go get that money. So let me tell you some of the things that I've heard. I'm not going to say certain platforms, but there are certain therapist platforms that help y'all get clients off insurance panels, but low-key, they seem like an insurance panel. One of them starts with BH. You get me? I ain't going to say it, right? No shade. But I know a lot of my clients don't want to be on that panel to fuse clients. But I didn't hear it once. I heard it a few times. Certain therapists that were cash pay only, the cash pay clients are not coming. Now, does this mean that you need to give up hope? No. Does this mean you need to hustle and pivot? Yes. Does this mean you need to go and get on 5 insurance panels? No. Does this mean that you need to entertain the idea of getting creative with how you market? Instagram ain't cutting it. Nobody sees your post. If you got 500 followers and 250 of them are your family members, they only showing your post to 1% of people. If you engage with them, what are you doing? I ain't got the bandwidth. I ain't got the money to hire a social media manager. Well, you tag you it. I don't know how I'm supposed to be doing this. You chose to go into entrepreneurship. It's like a damn cyclone. It goes up and down. The question is, can you withstand the marathon? Can you withstand when it goes down? So this is what I did. And I ain't really talked about this at all. Okay. DTA students have heard me say a little bit of this, but I never shared a backstory. I start tiptoeing around certain things like this because I feel like people, when they hear it, they receive it differently. Right. So I've had plenty of ups and down seasons in my private practice. In the beginning of my private practice, it was more, I didn't know what I was doing. My first 2 private pay clients back in 2012 were $45 a session. Why? Because I didn't know if I wanted to get on insurance panels. I also had a 6-figure job. So I was just like, I just want to learn how to be in private practice. That's when some of y'all be like, oh, it's so hard. And you still got a job. Don't quit that damn job. What are you doing? If you can go there and not have a mental health breakdown, go to the job. Go in there with your head held high. Perform like it was your business. and work a couple of hours at night, kid or not. Hustle, get what you want. So my first few clients were $45. College boys that play basketball. Third client, $75. So two of them were in LA. I rented an office. And then I was like, dang, I ain't even making the amount of money to pay for my office. Like it's breaking even because I got to drive low key to Beverly Hills to get to this office. And the lady was nice enough to even give it to me without a contract and to meet the minimum requirements because she saw that I was just thriving and wanting to, I was starving. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I'll give you like 3 hours a week. Cool. Breaking even. But it was the joy of having my own business, right? So I wasn't thinking about it as, oh my God, I'm about to be broke. No, abundance mindset, right? So then I decided I need to get closer to home. These clients over here ain't coming. So let me go closer to home. That's when I started being in the area that my office or my mail office now is in now. My third client, a young teenage girl, turning 18, $75. Then I realized after that, I ain't gonna make it. If I really want to leave my job, this is not going to cut it. Okay. So then this is really the untold story. So those are the first three clients. I did have one person who paid $150, and some of y'all heard about that client. That was more of a, I need to get off work. He tried to play me. We're writing a report. I charge him $150 plus I charge him the amount for report writing. That's when I then learned, oh, therapists aren't charging for report writing. Oh no, I'm charging you, and you need to come back for me to write another report, and I'm gonna charge you again, and you need to pay that $150. So outside of that one private pay client, unless I allow it, I was able to allow myself to say I charge $150. That's when I realized, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. That came after those two boys. Then I start seeing the girl for $150. Then I start interacting with other therapists in an office. So some of the story was in the why did I have 4 offices in like 2 years situation. So I was in an office that was subletting. It wasn't enough room for me to grow because I needed to see people on a different day of the week. So those people told me, go across the hall. Those people have 7 offices. I'm sure that they have enough space and they got a play area because I know you like to work with kids. Okay, cool. So I went across the hall and then I left this place and went over there. So when I was over here to the second place, they said, oh, you should get on this EAP. It was called X, Y, and Z. The reimbursement rate for a psychologist back then was $40. Okay. So again, I'm still getting paid 6 figures. So I'm not looking at my private practice as oh man, I'm gonna be broke. Because if you actually break down, even though I know they pay you for every hour, even if you ain't working, when I looked at my paycheck, do the calculation, and I did the salary breakdown for a government agency, after I was there for like 4.5 years, I was still only getting paid $55 an hour. Please hear me. As a psychologist that is licensed, working overtime to make $130,000 gross a year, I was only making $55 an hour. So some of y'all need to pivot your mindset right now, especially if you ain't got no 9 to 5, but you sitting here saying, including DTA students, I ain't getting on no panel. I'm about to get off a panel. If that's your desire, cool. You better have a dope marketing strategy and you better have a wait list. Because if you believe that these clients that ain't got no job, a lot of people start opening up their own business, they ain't got no health insurance. If you think they about to come out the pocket and pay you $150 to $250, and they starving and striving to survive too, you think all of a sudden they gonna save up money just to invest in themselves and get therapy? Some people will. Yes, think abundantly, but it might not look in the beginning the way that you think it's gonna look. So my mindset was, I didn't look at insurance panels as the devil. I'm being all the way real. Some of y'all be talking like it is the devil. And is it the devil? Or is it that you don't have good time management skills? Talk back to me in the comment box. You don't have the time management skills to learn how to go on your EHR, watch a 5-minute video, set up the reimbursement, push a button to submit the claim, give yourself 90 days to get on the panel, which means you still need to be marketing. Continue to market while you're on the insurance panel and just keep telling yourself this is temporary. That's the problem. Am I telling you to go and get on the panel? Because I know some of my DTA students will be like, oh my God, I thought she. No, but if you notice, In none of my marketing material, like some other coaches, do I ever say, I will help you build a thriving cash pay only practice. I don't say that. Why? Because I would be naive and a fool to believe that if you look at even the context of my audience, we are diverse. But 95% of our audience is African American. I attract what I am. Do I put that on my website? No. But people go to where they're comfortable. People go to what they're connected to, whether it's my mindset, my lifestyle, my business ethic, whatever it is, you were attracted to me and my systems for a reason. That's cool. But please don't lose sight of your butt needs to hustle in certain seasons. Okay. So my mindset back then was, if I really want to leave my job, I need to take time out and get on some of these panels. At the end of the day, if I do the numbers, the lowest panel on an EAP was paying me 40. I said, I don't like that 40. So I got creative with that. I said, oh, some of these clients keep saying that they got this insurance panel. Clearly, I keep attracting those clients and I like them. So maybe I should get on that insurance panel. So what did I do? I applied to that insurance panel. Did I like their reimbursement over time? No. Did I ask for a raise? Multiple times. Did they give me a raise? No. Did I eventually get off the panel? Yes. But that was after I was able to get afloat and start seeing profits in my business to leverage then my time to do other things. Then I got on another panel, a sister panel. The sister panel paid a little bit more than that panel. That panel at that time paid $75 for a therapy session. So I can say, oh my God, that's half of the rate that I want. Or I can say, I'm trying to leave this job. The job is paying me 55. This is paying me 75. At least I can show up and do what I want to do. Now you may be saying, but they pay me 40 hours a week. They do. But for me, your girl ain't never just had a one stream of income type situation. Even since I was 16 years old, I worked at Kmart, Wiener Schnitzel, and I got a job at a mall. Don't play me. But some of y'all ain't got that mindset. That's cool. I have a level of intrinsic motivation. I don't need external motivation. It only adds ante for me. I just told my team, like, I got goals. I may be doing certain things for an external motivation. I may be doing certain things for internal, or maybe a mixture of both. But at the end of the day, there's always a level of motivation that keeps me going, even if it's just motivation of getting up and giving. You know what I'm saying? And so my mindset was, well, I got teaching over here. I'm teaching at 2 to 3 schools. So now maybe the question is, where is my money going? True Religion jeans, Jordans. Your girl was shopping and living good. Mercedes coupe, Essence Festival. So what does that mean? If I really, really, really want to leave my job, or I really, really, really want to build a thriving private practice turned into a group practice not even a year later, I need to just ride off these insurance panels for a minute, build up my confidence, build out my systems, get coaching and learn how to market myself, and then start allowing myself to let how much I charge roll off my tongue, no matter how scary it might be. How much you charge at that time? $125. Oh, I can't pay it. $125. You take insurance? What kind of insurance you got? General Medi-Cal? Nope. I take this type of Medi-Cal, and I would only get on panels at some point that only paid me over $100. Y'all looking at this all wrong. Again, am I saying you need to run to panels? No. But some of y'all are on panels and you trying to escape too soon. Triage and what is it? Harm reduction it down. Don't get off all of them cold turkey. What are you doing? Let me paint a real good picture. A lot of these clients that are not profitable in their own personal lives, or they don't put mental health first, you probably need to ask yourself, where were they getting the money to pay you in 2020? Were they taking money that government just gave them? Hint, we talked about that in 2020. Were they not paying their rent because in California, nobody could evict them? Hint, talked about that in 2020. That's over. All the money that some people had, free grants that pay for therapy, a lot of that money outside of some nonprofits is gone. And you're not a nonprofit, I don't think. So where are your clients going to get the money to pay you if they can't even put food on the table? Because if they can't put food on the table and they can't pay for services, how are they going to pay you to keep your doors open? Y'all are playing. Put a 1 in the comment box if you know damn well you need to pivot the way that you're thinking. It does not have to include panels. That's part of my story. I did not get off panels fully until 2021. In the pandemic, I was on one panel that paid me $120. I charged $200, but I had a certain amount of what I call low fee slots. And my low fee was half my fee, not 75 no more. I went in stages though. Know where you are, know what geographical location you're in. I'm in California. If you down south, if you in locations where hell the rent is still $400, you can get away with charging $75 for low fee spots because your cost of living isn't the same. So also don't start comparing yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting more money because you can be in a low geographical cost of living spot and still want to make $1 million. I ain't saying that, but don't use like other people's money goal as your own and you don't even know why you want to make that amount of money. They may want to make that amount of money because in LA, you pretty much got to have a 6-figure like salary to live in a good neighborhood and get a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm in the 40 miles away from the city. That used to be one of the cheapest locations before Vegas. Okay. My cousins just came here and did a tour. 2-bedroom apartment on the other side. A special was $2,800. That was more than my old mortgage. My old mortgage was $2,200 plus an HOA. A whole $2,400. You mean to tell me for 900 square feet, the rent is hitting $3,000? That's not including daycare. That's not including gas. Y'all playing. You need to know your numbers. And instead of you sitting here trying to not go back to your 9 to 5, really try to ask yourself, well, how much was my 9 to 5 paying me? Your hustle season, some of y'all hustle season is here. It's been gone. Like it's here. And some of y'all are playing because you got too much pride. So as I mentioned, some of these DMs that I've been getting is from people who only did cash pay. And they like, yo, I need to do this. I need to do that. And to be real, that's where I see some people falling through the cracks. And that's where the coaching has to come in. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are all of a sudden you launching a coaching program? Why are you all of a sudden wanting to go over to this stream of income? You still, I don't care what kind of survival mode you are and what kind of hustle level you have. I believe that if you are not aligned with the product or service you're coming out with, you're a fraud. Because that literally means you are producing something just to put food on your table. And I ain't saying that you can't be like a hustler. But if you're not going to follow it through, though, and have good work ethic and have good customer service, don't just put on an online coaching program just because you saw that it was profitable. It was profitable for the person that you saw put it on, and you have no idea what it cost them in time and in money to put it on. If I told y'all how much it cost for that last DTA coaching cohort, I'm not even talking about time, just to run a minimal of Facebook ads, set up stuff for marketing, graphics. It was hitting for a 4-day boot camp. Put a 1 in the comment box if you like, yo, thank you for this insight. It was no less than $15,000. So for me to get up on YouTube, 4 days, go live for 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer, for my team, not counting time, to create new slides, revamp old content, update the DTA portal with little things that needed to be updated, making sure that our onboarding system, our email system is seamless, making sure that when somebody shows up to the bootcamp page, that the landing page is paid for. That's not even included in this. That's a monthly subscription. So the page that you go to sign up, we got to pay for that. Then you're rerouted to a thank you page. We got to pay for that. Then you get a confirmation email. We got to pay for that system. That hits $3,000 based off of minimally how many email subscribers I have. I got to pay for that. We had to pay for someone to put together the sequence because I don't want to do it because my time is money. Had to pay for that. My team members got to create the graphics for StreamYard, for Instagram. We got to create and curate content. We got to record podcasts. I got to sit down and curate the content for the podcast. I got to figure out how my body about to dance. What content I got to put on the post. What is the call to action? Who's talking to y'all in the DM? I'm also showing it to my coaching call. So if I were to put a number on it, we had about $50,000, but logistically, minimally $15,000 plus time. And some of y'all just want to get up and say, well, all she did is show up and do a live, send me a few emails, and give me access to Kajabi. That's a whole nother beast. So put a 1 in the comment box if you're not, though, in your hustling season, just going to go and open up a stream of income. Use your lowest hanging fruit. If your lowest hanging fruit is private practice, you better make sure that that boat is up and running. Okay? Because in terms of my private practice and the ups and downs, it was stable when I first started because I didn't know what I was doing, right? Then it was up, and then I ended up doing group practice. It stayed up for a while, actually. Took a dip. When I hired 8 clinicians, I was doing VA assessments. And some of y'all heard that podcast when I said I misplaced $50,000. What does that mean? Takesha did not get paid, but your girl still had a 6-figure job. Takesha could not pay herself on time because Takesha, me, had to take my money that I was making in the company to then turn around and pay my interns and my position staff because I did not calculate the days of the month with patterns of when I was going to get paid. Does that make sense to y'all? I didn't even understand when they were going to reimburse me in terms of how often I had to pay my team. So when I say I misplaced $50,000, what that really means is that I didn't understand my cash flow. That's what I mean. So it went down. I was down and out for that for like 6 months. Then it went back up because I learned gravy, got a good CPA, also an attorney, fired, right? Then a girl got pregnant. I had 6 months of savings. See, this is some of y'all that don't know this in DTA. You like, oh, she just keeps saying she left her job due to panic attacks. I'm having mental health problems too. I'm going to leave my job because she said that when she was on leave for that 7 days, she emailed them back with no 2 weeks notice and she just left. Well, that's why I tell y'all to go listen to my podcast because I didn't just leave. If you pay attention to my timeline, I never just left. When I left, I had a group practice y'all for 3 years. 3 years. I was bringing in with my job and my group practice $250,000. That did not include teaching. That was mental health. Back in 2015. I've been doing this game for years. I'm not allergic to money. I'm allergic to failure. That was good. I am not allergic also to experimentation. I'm not afraid to put something out there and boom, it didn't work. Let me see if I want to do it again. If I don't, so what? At least I tried it. Some of y'all are so scared to try something that you right now in your hustle season, just looking at your time. Your time ain't valuable if you ain't making money. I get it. You don't want to burn yourself out, but some things will call for late nights. Some things will call for early mornings. Mothers, you need to beat your kids waking up to go to school. You may need to wake up at 5 o'clock to go work out in your living room. Go dance off YouTube videos for 30 minutes. And then get on your computer, potentially before you even take a shower. Eat your little oatmeal. I'm y'all may be laughing with me, but I'm dead serious. Your household may not allow you to do certain things. Oh, that's your excuse? Really? Last time I checked, you got to pay for these little people. You got to pay for them to go to college. Some of y'all taking care of a whole household plus another household. Some of y'all done promised family members you'll take care of them. Where's the money streaming from? You don't even know when your money gonna hit. And then you give them money when you don't even have it. What are you doing? I'm giving. Great. Give them $1 or tell them you got to wait, right? But bottom line is people are going to go through seasons. I did not ever leave any job that I have cold turkey. Let DTA, all of y'all hear that. I was making $250 a year. I was okay with saying, hence the travel and spending, in this next year, I need not to be spending money like play money because now that's my mortgage money. So here's another thing. Dr. Roche has said this to y'all a few times if y'all in our community. Some of y'all make 5,000, let's just say in your private practice. You make 5,000 at your job monthly. And then you like, boom, I made 10,000. Congratulations. Great. But now what you've done is you're living off of $10,000, not 5,000. Then you leave the $5,000 job because in your brain, you're not recognizing that it's 5 and 5. You're looking at it as I make 10. And you're also not realizing that you created a lifestyle off of 10. I can stop shopping. Some of y'all have upgraded your life that has monthly fees embedded in that 10,000. Be real with yourself. So now you decide to leave your job. And now you done fell into the thirst trap. You got group practice maybe. Just, I need to hire the next therapist. No, that's thirsty. I need to just hire a VA. You need to slow down. Hire slow, fire fast. Okay? Some of y'all are thirsty. I just need to hire a social media manager because I ain't got time. You don't even know who your ideal client is. Your ideal client last year is not the one this year. You realize you don't even like them people you were serving last year. Stop it. But they can pay me. You don't like them. You doing harm. Okay? So bottom line is going to go up and down. You need to understand your numbers. You need to understand how much money you're truly making without that 9 to 5 if that's your goal to leave. You need to understand how much money you're really making with private pay clients and how often conversion rate are those clients calling you before you say, I'm getting off insurance panels. Don't play yourself and get homeless. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all learned something? Okay, I ain't got no slides. I'm just talking. Okay, so let me see. Last point, put any questions you have. Oh, I already said this. There are different seasons in your business. So as I mentioned, my threshold was I got pregnant. I had 6 months of savings. Thought I was doing big things, thought I was good, had other streams of income popping off in the back. But what I didn't realize also was that a lot of my streams of income required me. We run into a bigger problem now. I need to start thinking bigger than just active streams of income, hence the boot camp 2 weeks ago. So I was already invested in a coaching program. I paid a good amount of money and I was on bed rest. So I couldn't go to half of the year events, but it's cool. I still got into my portal and did my homework. I still showed up to the online coaching calls. No excuses, people. High risk pregnancy, can't walk, can't drive, can't do nothing. Okay, because I have fluid leaking or whatever. Okay. So I sat on my couch from 5 months of being pregnant to giving birth, literally past my due date. They had to induce my pregnancy. During that time, I also recognized that I was living in a season where I needed to make a pivot. My season for me at that time was I wanted to recognize the Dr. TK brand, not just all of my mental health work, right? Not just private practice. I was doing a lot of things and I wanted to go bigger. I was already doing coaching behind the scenes. I wanted to do it in public. So I had a lot of time to think, clearly sitting on the couch. So I said, go big or go home. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm at my breaking point. I already had a panic attack. I already left the job. Right now, I'm not going to be depressed. I'm pregnant. I don't got time for that. So my hustle season kicked in. I'm having blended family chaos. Shit, what can I do to understand this? Let me go get certified in parenting. Boom, that's how I got that. Understood my family dynamics and was able to get private practice and private pay clients by simply helping clients do what I've done in my personal life. Check mark, right? That's active, but I can do that online, right? I ain't got to be in office. That's how I started Zoom calls, right? Private practice clients. Some of y'all don't need to see me during maternity leave. 10 of y'all do. Half of y'all private pay, half of y'all insurance. Let me call these insurance panels, get my online approved. Boom, they did it due to my circumstances back then. I saw 10 of my clients consistently. That was a cool, $1,500 a month, $15 to $2,000 a week. That's cool. That's keeping me afloat. That's paying our bills, right? So then I needed to think bigger. What are the things that I need to learn to take me to that next level? What do I have access to? What coaching programs have I not logged into that I need to log into maybe again, right? But I realized that I was in a season of my business where I needed to go all in. I got sleep. I rested. I ate good. I had a beautiful pregnancy, even though I was on the couch. But guess what happened because I decided to hustle during that time? After I had my son, I was on C-section. I wasn't going to let that keep me down. But guess what? That 6 months of money ran out though. Oh, y'all know that. Some of y'all know that story. Most of y'all don't, who've been following me for a while. So from making $250,000 a year to then not being able to pay my mortgage on time for like 3 months. Oh, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about abundance. But see, those are the seasons that nobody will tell you about. The seasons where you got to call a mortgage company and ask them, can you get an extension? You got to call the car people and ask them, can you get an extension? This was 2018. This wasn't that long ago. Avery's only 5. But I'm not allergic to experimentation. I'm allergic to failure. And I told myself, I'd be damned if I have a child in this house, actually a bonus child too, and I can't pay my mortgage. You out of your mind. Hustle mode came all the way on. And that's not when I was launching DTA. That's when I chose to go to my lowest hanging fruit. And that's when that story that my coach broke out, Millionaire Maker, she broke out a story, said she doubled her caseload from her couch. I had a wait list for my private practice on my couch. I was doing consultation calls, having the little Braxton hit kicks or whatever I'm getting in my stomach, with Avery doing jump squats in my stomach because he ready to come out. No excuses. Who am I talking to right now? I put a one in the comment box. Some of y'all sleeping. I ain't got time. I'm sleepy. I can barely look at the computer because I'm feeling dizzy because I'm 9 months pregnant. I can barely keep down food in my 3rd trimester. Am I stressing myself out? No, I learned how to get off. But I also know that if he's waking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning in my stomach kicking me, that was Jesus telling me to wake up and get your butt downstairs on that couch, do your morning meditation, do your scripting, declare what you're going to have. The life I'm living right now literally was in that journal that I wrote when I was sitting on my couch because I was scared. But I wasn't going to allow my fear to keep me in a state of poverty. You are out of your mind. And some of y'all allowing what's happening in our economy like swoop y'all up. You're going into a frantic state, showing up to these coaching calls like, I don't know how to market. Yes, you do. Get your butt offline. Go to events. Go to your church. Open up your mouth. If I wanted clients, I would be telling my bishop. I told him this at one point. I said, listen, I got a group practice. I ain't seeing nobody in your congregation. Only licensed therapists can see these clients because I'm not going to supervise those cases. These are the insurances that I take. I literally went on Canva. Not even that. I think I went on like Google Docs, printed out a flyer and said, this is who we see. These are all the licensed therapists in my practice. They can you can choose a location in the church or they need to drive to Cerritos, right? These are their hours. This is how you contact them to schedule a consultation. These are the insurance panels that I take. Don't be afraid to tell them what panels you take because you shouldn't be on them if you don't like them. These are the panels that we accept. If the congregation needs therapists, I'm going to offer this resource. Boom. Some of our clinicians got clients there. I'm talking to some of my kids through school psychologists for IEPs. They say, where's your office at? Down the street. Can we send new clients? Yep, me. Can I schedule another meeting so that I can officially tell you and maybe the staff, the teachers, administrative staff, the work that I do in the community so that y'all can send us more clients? Yep. Don't be afraid to open up your mouth. Some of y'all are literally relying on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You're relying on it and you're not relying on the gift that you were given. Your gift requires you to talk. So why aren't you talking? Why aren't you going out there to get clients? Maybe you need to paint a picture. And this is what a lot of billionaires do. Some of them, they keep that hustle mentality going because they say every morning, I tell myself I'm broke. Now, I ain't saying say that because we don't want to leave that to our subconscious mind. But sometimes you may have to ask yourself, if I don't do this, what's the worst that's going to happen? And let me just share something with y'all that are sitting in a state of fear, whether it's to open up a business, whether it's to go hard in your business, whether it's to open up that other stream of income that you've been holding on to because you sit in a state of fear because it ain't all the way done yet. Maybe you're in fear of getting help. Maybe you're in fear of meeting up with us, like at an event or joining a program. I don't know what your fears. These are all the fears that I got. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. Well, I can't tell you if you're ready. What I can tell you, if this is your problem, this is a solution, I can help you solve it, or I can't here go in this direction, or I don't know what to do with that situation because that ain't my gift, right? But at the end of the day, if there is a problem, there is a solution. Period. That's the way that the world works. Quantum physics. If there is a problem, There is a solution. When states say they broke, the government comes in and saves them. The tax people may have to pay the dollars, but the money gets implanted into people's bank accounts. Problem, solution. Get off your tail and go make money. And if you don't, just ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And this is what I used to tell myself all the time when I was like getting tired. And I put a one in the comment box if y'all like, yo, this is like a good one. The worst thing that can happen is you can go get a job that pays you over at least $50,000. Oh my God. You can walk down the street in certain neighborhoods. This is what I do. When we out and I'm going past the hood, I just look at people like I look at my husband. I'm like, this is why I will never be without a job. I'll be in the store and one lady threw a Starbucks cup at the worker because she was pissed that something didn't go right with her order. You know, we ordered our stuff and went back in the car. And I was like, this is why I would never be without a job. It's people like this that's going to get referred through their workers program because they had an anger management problem. There's homeless shelters that got money and maybe you can serve the people. I've worked with severely mentally ill. Do I love it? No. Would I do it if my livelihood was on the line? Yeah, because I still got a heart. I still know what to do. Do I love psychological testing? I like it. Probably if I'm teaching it, I love it. I don't necessarily like to do it. If I just wiped out coaching and I went back to mental health, would I bring it back to the table? Yeah, it's lucrative. And I actually like doing it. I will never be without a job. Why? Because I have a gift and so do you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, who ready to hustle? Put a 10. And hustle don't gotta be you and sleep at night. But hustle is a reframe that you need to learn how to pivot. Because as long as you're grown, you should remember 2008. If you're grown, you remember 2020. And if you're grown, you should be well aware of what's happening in our economy right now. It's not a game. It's not. And mental health providers are definitely needed, whether people know it or not. It's your job to tell them why you're needed. There's no reason why we should have a shortage of workshops at work sites. Y'all playing. I ain't gonna coach y'all how to do it unless you in a coaching program with me. But I'm just letting you know, like, there's money out here to be made. Don't let nobody tell you that therapists can't make money. And I'm gonna say this for anybody who's watching that decides they want to get on my Facebook ad again, because we got trolls up in this joint, right? People can get on my Facebook ads. I'm not going to shield anymore from talking about abundance. If I want to go to the Gucci store and buy me some goddamn shoes, I'm gonna buy some shoes. If I want to go in there just to take a snapshot and say I want one of y'all to buy some shoes, buy some shoes. If I want to go on a prosperity tour and say who want to level up and buy a new home, I do. I'm gonna show y'all in the Instagram stories. If I want to post how much money I made last month, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not doing it on clout. That's the difference. Some people get it twisted on Instagram, like, oh my gosh, you're just talking about money. Well, if that's your belief, I can bet my money on it. You don't follow me, nor do you engage with me. Because everybody who, I'm about to curse, anybody who F's with me, know that I'm a real one. I do have 2 different personalities. I have Dr. TK and I have Takesha. Okay. So when Takesha comes out, move. But Takesha don't come out that often. But Takesha does come out in hustle mode. Takesha ain't just like the girl from Compton. Takesha is the girl who uses the hustle mentality that she learned from growing up in certain neighborhoods. And I don't do the things that they do, but they had a hustle behind them that I learned. You better believe that. I'd be a fool sitting there watching all that PTSD stuff happen on my street. Raids, drugs, and all that kind of stuff. And you don't think I'm watching they move? How to be consistent, efficient, communicate effectively with police officers to have a good relationship. Am I saying I communicate with them? No. What I'm saying is I learned how to be proficient in getting what I want, no matter what. So that's probably the most craziest example. But I'm being honest, like I use my upbringing to my advantage. Some people use it as a card that they dish out to say, I can't be abundant. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Okay. Everybody was dealt a deck. I'm sure that some of y'all get so irritated with a therapy client in which you see all the potential. And they like, woe is me. For like 6 months, bump woe is me. Get your butt up, get dressed, go look for a job because woe is me is what's keeping you here. You have coping skills. You like the woe is me. And I don't say I talk to my therapy clients like this, but this is how they feel though. They like, yo, you came for me today. You came for me. I don't talk all soft though either. But I will highlight to my client, like the one I laid off, but she laid off herself. Like, yo, we made a plan. You said you wanted this outcome. I said you have to do this that I'm going to teach you to get that outcome. You said, okay. You said you were going to do the homework assignments. And every time you leave this room or leave this telehealth space, when you come back, it's almost like you don't remember. So then I emailed it to you. I sent you a video of it. I made you repeat it before you left the session. And you decided not to do your homework assignment. So what I really think is either you're scared of success or what's on the other side. Does this sound familiar? Because this almost sounds like a coaching session. It's the same thing. Or you really don't want it as bad as you think you do. Why? Because probably you don't want to work for it. That is some of y'all problem. I want $200,000 a year, Dr. TK. Really? But you need to learn how to launch something, how to host a webinar, how to do email marketing, text marketing, how to do Facebook ads, how to do organic marketing at another level. Oh, I don't need all that. I don't need to pay for that. I could just watch a YouTube video. Cool. That's another 5 years. That is cool. By the time you look up, Chat GPT done gave you the whole outline like yesterday. You playing. You are playing. And some of y'all think you're slick. You're going to go over to Chat GPT or AI and you're going to say, how do I do this? If you didn't hear, they're just now releasing information on those platforms, past information on the internet from 2021. So you sitting here looking up stuff that's outdated, sis or bro. Okay. Don't depend on that thing to write your social media content. Because if I'm your coach and I follow you and I look on your page and say, damn, this looks familiar, I'm sure that college professors, college campuses, and eventually certain platforms are going to start scanning stuff. Whoa, got a good one for y'all for plagiarism. Hold on. Oh, let me send y'all this. And then I'm gonna end. Okay. So, this came out. Let me send it. I sent it to my husband. I said, this is good. Hold on, y'all. If I can't find it, I'm just gonna summarize it. So I have investments on certain platforms, right? And the investments may send, like updates or whatever every single week about how your investments are going. I'm trying to read. Dang, where is it at? Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a summary. So it was on a Robinhood, and they were saying that employers they have created a bot, and they are going to start scanning people's resumes through the bot because people have been going to these AI tools, being creative, but typing in some of the same similar prompts, like 3 ways you can cope with anxiety if you're a therapist for social media. And then you're given the same content. You don't curate it for the job, AKA your audience. It don't even sound like you. And then all of a sudden, we're looking at 2 to 3 different people's information that looks remotely the same. Now in college, what happens when you do plagiarism? Technically, you can get expelled, grad school or not. You can just, at the low level, get a 0 or an F with a final warning, not multiple warnings, just a warning. I can kick a student out my class, or I can just report it to the dean. I've never done that. I usually do a one-time warning and say, because they say you can create your own process, but report it. So I'll say one time, I don't care how much paper was worth, you get a 0 on this one. Can I resubmit it? I would highly suggest that you do so I can give you feedback still, but you still not getting points. Oh, well, I'm not going to submit it. That's cool. You still getting a 0. But if you want to get better for your next assignment, especially in grad school, I've had grad school students send it through the plagiarism, which is probably an AI bot too. And it pulls things from the internet. Do not play yourself with taking new technology and going in to here, let me show y'all. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all what somebody going to do. All right, let me go into AI. Put a one in the comment box if y'all want to see. Y'all don't even know what I'm about to do, but just put a one because I got some shenanigans up. I just created this right now. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and I'm going to show you what some therapists are going to do for just no reason. Okay. Like, all right, can y'all see this? Hold on, let me take mine. Oh, y'all can see me. All right. So this is what somebody gonna do, right? Somebody gonna put 3 ways to start let me just put how to. This is somebody gonna do. This y'all type of YouTube. How to start a therapy private practice. Okay. So let's see what it types out for us. Be patient. All right. This is so funny. All right. Oh, it's been an hour. Look at me. I'm just going. All right. That's my last thing. I promise. So it says starting a therapy private practice can be a fulfilling and rewarding path. However, there are several steps you need to take to ensure that you establish a successful and sustainable practice. Here are some key steps to consider. So obtain the necessary credentials and licenses. Okay. Create a business plan. Okay, that's not very specific though to private practice. Look, this will help you to determine your target audience, set your fees. The problem though is it's telling you what you need to do, but that was your question, but it's not really telling you how to do it, right? Then choose a location, okay? Establish your practice. Most of this y'all already know. Create a marketing plan. Uh-oh, we don't know how to do that. Okay, it says build a website. Okay, drag and drop. What the hell are you gonna put on a website? What's your messaging? Right? Who's your ideal client? Setting up social media accounts. Okay, that's easy. Who do you talk to on social media? What is your captions like? What is your call to action like? Right? Set up your fees. Some of y'all scared to even say the low fee. Get insurance. Okay, malpractice. That's straight to the point. Build a client base. Uh-oh, here comes this marketing again. Starting a therapy practice can be challenging, but with the right planning and resources, it can be fulfilling and rewarding. So I can say this. I can say elaborate on how to set my therapy private practice fees. Okay, because you gotta ask the right question on ChatGPT. Okay, so setting fees for therapy. So what do y'all notice? Does anybody notice anything? First of all, half of this stuff is a repeat. Okay, like they just said this up here. Research the market. Well, hell, how do you know what to research? Determine your cost. Okay, well, what, you know how much your office is and stuff like that. That's cool, but we talk deeper than that in DTA, right? Consider your experience and credentials. Well, some of y'all know what you're worth, but you're scared to say it. So are we really talking about confidence here? That's non-tangible. Offer sliding scale fees. Somebody gonna do that wrong. Consider the cost of living. Do you even know your cost of living? Right? Be transparent about your fees. I mean, we can go on and on. Y'all playing. This is what somebody gonna do. They gonna sit here and go to Chat GPT. They gonna say, how do I get my ideal client? Y'all gonna take everything I probably say on these damn boot camps. Somebody gonna do it. Somebody probably already has. Somebody that went over to YouTube. They're gonna do it. And what are you gonna do? You're going to use all of this time, because if you notice, it's giving you a whole lot of information. It's going to continue to break down something that is repeating the same thing over and over again. It's not going to give you a how. It's not going to personalize it to your private practice. And you're still going to have to play the guessing game. So is it a great resource? Of course it is. Should you be using it in your business every day? Absolutely. Should you be copying and pasting stuff from off there to think that you're unique? Absolutely not. That is the difference between a fraud and a business owner. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how y'all like this? Get your butt out of bed, hustle, learn how to pivot in this season. This was more of a motivator. This wasn't no like workshop, kind of thing. I just wanted to have a conversation with y'all, primarily, specifically for my students. We would have went to town today because then I would have been able to talk to y'all because we on Zoom. But I don't know why I thought we had a call today. I forgot Shayla met with y'all last week. And then I looked at the calendar. I'm like, oh, I ain't even going to call today. So I said, I'm doing this topic. They just about to get a bonus plus the public. Okay. So this will be aired sometime on the podcast. For resources, if you want to know what's going on, we just wrapped up an awesome Streams of Income Bootcamp. We're starting to drip those with podcast interviews on the audio podcast because I know the videos are long. If you ever want to know what we have going on, like the conference we're having in October, getting on the Private Practice Academy wait list, Other things that I have for like abundant moms or just general motivational text. If you click that link, it'll take you to all the things for resources. And just stay connected. Make sure that you tap into the podcast and YouTube, because this is where, if I, for whatever reason, can't get on here live, which sometimes that happens with my schedule, I will pre-record material for either the video and or audio podcast. All right. So I'm glad that y'all have enjoyed it. Share this YouTube video with somebody else who you feel like needs a kick in the butt. Some of y'all need to hop over to these therapy sessions. So I'm gonna wrap up. I will see DTA on our next coaching call. I will see ECM on your next coaching call. And for everybody else, make sure you head over to Dr. TK site, follow up with your girl, DM me your biggest takeaway, or put it on the bottom of this video. Appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.